Hey everybody, this is Alex with MIP, and I just wanted to get you out here to the office here in the middle of Memphis where we're located, the Reedy and the MIP office, and just wanted to bring you in, show you around the office, show you all the departments here under one roof, and just introduce you to some of our team members. Let's get going. Hey everybody, so this is Sean.
Oh, 1 second, I'm busy.
Which you've seen in 1,000 videos before, and who's been in the Sofa Summit here recently too, but we just wanted to walk you into his office and introduce him to you. So Sean, why don't you just tell the people a little bit about what you do?
Hey everyone, I am Sean Taggy, Chief Operating Officer here at Memphis Investment Properties. I don't know exactly what I do. No, just kidding. It's a lot of things, the day-to-day operations here. So buying, I work with the marketing team on finding houses that fit, your investors' criteria, that are good cash-on-cash return on investments, and kind of direct where we're trying to find these houses to buy. Assist with the renovations team, a lot of data and stats, and adjusting our budgets with how renovation costs have increased and material costs. So kind of working on that. Use a lot of marketing data. Then also on the sales side with Alex and Mark, and helping create the spreadsheets, the pro formas. Those were all created by me a few years ago, and kind of adjust those almost all the time depending on the market. Kind of lead, manage, and hold accountable the entire team and myself. That's the main thing. And then of course also working with the partners, Jim and Brad and Mark, on establishing the vision, right, our core values of the company, and executing on that, right, putting it into track and getting some traction on what we're doing. So a little bit of all that stuff and a lot in between. It's super fun.
Absolutely. Well, awesome. Hey everybody, we're here in the acquisitions office with Eric, one of our acquisitions managers with We Buy Houses. And he's going to tell you just a little bit about what acquisitions is and how it helps us with it being here in the office.
Oh, great. No, thank you for that, Alex. Acquisitions here at Memphis, We Buy Houses. We basically look for houses helping our MIP purchase homes in the Memphis area. We look at the typical houses, 3-bedroom, 2-bath brick house is the house that we want, but also, we'll buy the 3-bedroom, 1-bath house in areas as well. And so, typically on just a typical week, I'm looking at, probably, 20 plus properties every single week, anywhere from 80 to 100 houses a month. And so we look at it quite a bit of houses to be able to acquire, 20 to 30 houses every single month.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys out here, we have 3 acquisitions managers now with Eric, Eli, and Jack, and their goal is to go out mainly direct to seller and talk to these people and figure out what can we get your house for. If you don't want to make the repairs, we're prepared to offer you a cash offer and close quickly with you. And so that's basically what it is. In terms of marketing, what are we trying to do to reach out into the community to try and find these leads?
No, also, man, we are actually doing a bunch of marketing things. We're doing commercials, we're doing radio, we're doing billboards, we're sending out postcards. We got VAs doing cold calls. We are doing quite a bit of stuff to generate leads every single day. And so that's actually how we were able to set up so many appointments and buy so many houses at the end of the month.
Yeah, well, awesome. Well, yeah, guys, this was Eric again with the We Buy Houses team, and you got to thank him a lot. He's the only reason we get to put out 300 houses a year for y'all. So
that's
absolutely.
Right. Yeah, no, I love it. Thank you.
So now we're here in the client services department here with Carrie.
Hi.
And so we'll introduce you to the client services team once you actually close on a property. And so once you do that, we'll introduce you to one of the 4 ladies here in the department, and then Carrie now will tell you just a little bit of what they'll help you with.
Yeah, so once you close on a property, it gets transitioned over to a designated portfolio manager, one of 4 ladies in this department, including myself. From there, you'll get a welcome email letting you know our contact information, so you have a direct point of contact with a phone number and an email address for any questions that you may have regarding your portfolio. Some of the main things that our owners are concerned about when they first come on with their first property is being able to see the transactions that are associated with their property. So any expenses, seeing their rental income come in, all of which is available through your owner portal. Once your property is set up and your portfolio is set up in our system, which is Propertyware, you will receive an email with a link to be able to log into your portal, set up a password, and then all that information will be visible from there. I think a couple of the most common questions that we usually get regarding the portfolio in general, and then also through the information that's available through your portal, is what is this expense associated with? So you may see a line item on your ledger that says general repair for maintenance. There are tools that you can use within the portal, and we are here to help you locate those so that you can pull those invoices to get a better description of what that repair item was.
Awesome. So at any point, if you ever have any questions about the property that you do own, whether it's a leasing question or like she was saying, a maintenance question, anything like that, just feel free to contact one of the ladies over here, whoever's dedicated to you, and they'll be more than happy to help. The last major responsibility a lot of our maintenance guys have, and the superintendents and their our contractors, are the turnovers that we see. So when the tenant ends up having to leave, they go in after they do the inspection and they get the turnover scope ready for you. And then they're actually going to be able to get into the property and complete those items pretty quickly. I mean, right now their average is between about 8 and 15 days. So they're working really quickly for our leasing team to start getting back on the ball and just finding a new tenant for you. So now this is our 7,000 square foot warehouse. We like to call it our miniature Home Depot. So this is where our rehab guys and maintenance guys are able to use and grab all their materials that they need for the day out in the field. And so they start and then they'll finish up, they'll go grab anything that they need from back here in the warehouse and then bring it up here to the inventory and point of sale system so that they can actually check out and we can keep track of what's being used the most and what we need to order more of and stuff like that. So we're in the leasing office now with Billy, our VP of Operations.
Hi, Alex.
So Billy is in charge of not only, client services, you oversee leasing.
Right now, client services, leasing, and then also over the apartment, the multifamily communities.
Yeah, awesome. Well, he's going to provide just a little bit of insight into our leasing team and kind of what it takes for us to help find tenants for these properties that we're selling to you guys. So about how long, on average, for us does it take to find a tenant for a property?
Generally, we try and make sure that everything's leased within the first 30 days. And of course, that sometimes varies based on the price point or the certain area, like if the house is in Germantown or Collierville. So, but on any given day, I normally have, on general, between 40 and 60 approved applications, and I'm just waiting on houses in certain areas to come available that they're wanting.
Yeah, awesome. So you say on average about 30 days, and even with MIP, we offer you a 90-day leasing guarantee. So anything after 90 days, every month after that, we're going to cover your expenses in the property anyway, but we don't typically ever make it that far. So when we talk about finding tenants for properties, our goal is to find the best qualified tenant for somebody. So what kind of criteria do they have to meet in order for that?
So there's a couple of things that go on that. Our residents can the applicants can either come into the office and do an application, or they can get online and do it. You can do all of that online. And so basically, they in order to qualify, they have to make 3 times the rent income net, where they physically bring home. That's something that Renee does that I'm not used to in the 23 years that I've done this. It's always been based on gross. We also verify their paycheck stubs. If we can't verify their paycheck stubs or W-2s, then we request a third-party verification. We do rental verifications. We check their general sessions. So once we gather all that information together, the resident physically sits down and fills out a budget. And then it's simple math after that. This is what they make, this is what they spend, and if they have a credit at the end, and credit's good and positive rental history, then they get approved.
Awesome, yeah. And then lastly, we just kind of want to cover what the tenant responsibilities are. Here in Memphis, it's a little bit different than a lot of places around the country. So what all are other tenants responsible for here?
So there are some houses that come with appliances that the owner will maintain, but the majority of the houses do not come with appliances. So the resident is responsible for getting their own appliances. They're also responsible for the yard upkeep, mowing, making sure that everything's trimmed back. And then, of course, we require every resident to get a renter's insurance policy.
Yeah. And even here in Memphis, the utilities are in their tenant's name, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so with MLG&W, it will we'll transfer the utilities into the tenant's name, so we even check if they have cutoff statements during the screening process. And then beyond that, we make sure that it's there and that they pay the utilities. So it's not coming back on your ledger, just onto the tenants here in Memphis.
Exactly. And there's only a couple of areas that varies. A majority of that's in Mississippi and Walls or Lake.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey guys, now we're in the collections office here with Tiffany, and she is one of our head collections people here in the office, along with Paige. And is there someone?
No, it's just me.
Just Tiffany and Paige here in the office. And so we're just going to ask her a couple questions, just kind of frequently asked questions that we get from most of our investors. And we'll start with just what the rent collection process looked like. from the end of the month going into rent being due on the 5th. Tiffany's going to tell us a little more about that.
Hi. So on the 30th of the month, the previous month, we send out notices like you get a bill from MLGNW or anything of that nature, an invoice. We send out invoice letting everyone know, hey, rent is available to be paid now, and this is your current rate, as if they don't know. And then on the 3rd of the month, we send out a text blast to all people who have not paid as of yet, informing them that they have 2 more days to pay before the late fee is attached. Should they not pay by the 5th at 5 p.m. here in the office or by 10 p.m. online using one of the 3 ways, a 10% late fee is added to the ledger. And on the 6th, we send out a text blast, an email, their phone calls start, and someone is knocking on the door. So all collection attempts are starting, letting them know, hey, rent is to be paid, 10% has been added to the ledger, it is now due, and if you don't pay this by the 15th, we will start legal action. Typically, we get a flood rush of folks calling because no one wants to see court. And then after that happens, we typically collect between that time frame. I say we start on the 5th or the 6th, we'll probably be at I want to say like a 50 or 60% collected already. By the time the 15th come, we're at like a 85-90% collected. So it jumps really quickly. For those folks who are very slothful and don't take our threats seriously, $350 is added to the ledger, and of course we start the legal proceeding. Another email goes out saying, hey, we have started the legal proceeding. Someone will be serving you paperwork for your court date. And then we go through that. That kind of freaks folks out that they even have to go to court, so they rush in. They not only pay the rent, they also pay the $350 fee. So then that way they don't have to deal with court. The court process takes right now about 60 to 90 days, just depending on what's happening in the world. So we're doing pretty good. Like this week we have about 50 cases in court. So they're speeding up, that's telling us it's something good. But by the time that happens, half of the people we're dismissing because they paid in full. Yeah. So that's a very, very good thing. Our percent rates are, by the time before the last week of the month, we're at like a 95%. By the time we hit the end of the month, we're hitting our 97%. And by the first midweek of the next month, we're at 100% collected of all people who are not in the court system.
Yeah. Awesome. And so in terms of collections and everything like that, they're doing a great job. In terms of evictions, what are we seeing rate-wise in terms of different neighborhoods? We all know that there's different risk involved in certain neighborhoods. So in the C neighborhood, what are we seeing eviction?
C neighborhood is the highest part of the eviction. Those are our stubborn folks, as we call them. They're about, I want to say about 15% rate of getting evicted. Mm-hmm. Our A neighborhoods is almost never. It's like I can't even really judge it. It's like one out of the apple bunch every 10 years or something like that. It's really strange. And then our B neighborhoods is kind of fluctuates. They kind of deal on whatever's happening in the time. We kind of go from there, but they're still probably between 5 and 7%. It's not high.
Awesome, absolutely. And then Tiffany mentioned that there's 3 ways for tenants to pay. Just they can either come to the office as one of them. And
there's 5.
Oh.
So you can pay online using either rent money, which allows you to pay cash at a location like a Walmart, H-Check, Cash in Place, or a Kroger. You can use your checking or routing number sitting right on your couch. That's the cheapest way. Or you can pay using credit or debit card. You are allowed to come in office to pay, and you also can mail in. And we just go by whatever the post office stamps the envelope. That's the date that they get credit for.
Awesome.
So we give them 5 ways to pay. And then if that doesn't work, we send our process servers out there and they collect it.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you.
No problem.